also to be continued right now is the story we first raised about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Let me just recap a little bit,
Sure.
Wendy, for the sake of those who might not have heard the original show. We shared the story of a Somerset West dentist called Amanda Murray, who joined us on the show. Amanda, and her practice had been, in her version, targeted by a so-called free offer. Somebody phoned into the practice, her receptionist took the call, and this Gauteng-based detergent manufacturing business offered her, in her version, offered her a free sample of their pine gel, saying, if you'd like to try it, we'll deliver it to you. It's a free sample. There's no charge involved at all. And if you like the product, we simply hope that you will start buying it going forward. And when that promised so-called free sample arrived, they were all very surprised because it wasn't a small sample at all. It was a large 25-litre container of the product. And they were even more surprised when a couple of weeks later an invoice arrived demanding payment.
So interestingly, they were still going with a free sample. It's quite big because there was no invoice.
There was no invoice
for
with
a
it
good
at the time.
few weeks, yes.
So the invoice came about a month later for 3,000 Rand or so, which is a lot considering this product could have been bought in the shops for something like 250 Rand.
According to Amanda,
According to them, So Amanda's practice didn't open it. They contacted the firm to say, please, we don't want this. Come and collect it. We didn't order it. We're not going to pay for it. And the company responded that it had a no return policy and the bills kept coming and interest was being added to the bills as well. Now, Wendy, at the time, we didn't name the company because we'd offered them right of reply. They were adamant that the receptionist had placed an order. You asked to hear a recording of that phone call so that you could confirm that that in fact had happened, and we agreed that we would hold off naming them until you had a chance to listen to it. So tell us where we are now.
Okay, so first, at the crux of this issue is what the legalities are. So the Consumer Protection Act protects consumers as well as businesses with an annual turnover of less than 2 million Rand from having to pay for unsolicited goods. And what constitutes unsolicited goods? If there's no proof that you ordered a particular product at a particular price and the goods arrive anyway, or more goods arrive than you agreed to buy, those goods are regarded as unsolicited and you are not legally required to pay for them. I'm really simplifying, but that's what we need to know for the purposes of this segment. So that leads to the ultimate question in this case: is there solid proof that the company made full disclosure in terms of the deal, and that this medical practice in question gave a very clear acceptance of those terms? Because you're only legally to pay a supplier if you can prove, or they can prove, that there was a meeting of minds on the deal. In other words, the practice said yes to a specific amount of product at a specific price that was very clearly disclosed. Yeah. So we finished our investigation. I can now reveal the company in question is called Unlimited Essentials. If you go into Hello Peter, you'll see scores of complaints about very similar to the one that Amanda's raised, and she's also, her complaint is also there. The last time we discussed this issue, we shared the company's written response to our questions, which included a very lengthy explanation of their telemarketing practices and assurances that their script for sales agents ensures that all pricing info is accurately communicated and that all calls are recorded and checked by a verification manager to ensure that an order has indeed been placed. And they also said that in this particular case, there was ample proof that an order had been placed. But as I say, there are a lot of people alleging very similar things to what Amanda.
Peter.
To be clear, it was Amanda's receptionist, Natasha, who actually took both calls. The first one, they have a sales call, and then sometime later they have a confirmation. I think it's the same day, a confirmation call from someone else who says, "Oh, you're just confirming this and this and this."
Okay, so to get back to that crux of the matter, if they want to prove, or rather disprove, Amanda's complaint, the company needs to produce proof in the form of that call recording that there's a clear indication that the agent offered her practice 25 litres of pine gel at a price of 2,800 Rand, and that Natasha, the receptionist, agreed to that price. Now, Natasha said that didn't happen. Could they produce the proof? Did they eventually send you that call recording, Wendy?
Well, they wouldn't send me the original sales call because they said it was that sales script on pitch is the intellectual property of the directors, but they would play it for me and let me listen, which is never ideal because you can't go over it as many times as you need for it to make sure you've got
what you heard. Yes.
Whereas the confirmation call is an internal measure taken to ensure that only orders are delivered to clients. So they sent me the second call, and then earlier this week they played the sales call to me over the phone. I did ask them to repeat one section. So they did do that, but it's not ideal.
Yeah.
Anyway, because when I do those things, it can take me half an hour to get every word down
And
exactly.
listen and transcribe
exactly.
and be sure you be making an accurate reflection. Yeah.
So,
Okay, so that confirmation call, the one they did send you, 6.5 minutes long, made in June. And the caller asks the receptionist, Natasha, is she authorized to order cleaning chemicals? And she says yes. And then what happens, Wendy?
So then she says, the caller says that the company was in touch with the practice some years ago about a survey. I'm really not sure that this happened at all. And they want to give them a complimentary Mastercare voucher. I heard Mastercare. I don't know. Mastercare does maintenance. I looked it up. I don't know if it was actually Mastercard, and I heard Mastercare, although they're not quite different sounding words. As I say, I couldn't go back and listen. So that they can spoil themselves. So that's how it started. You helped us with the survey in developing our new product, and we manufacture these products, and now we want to say thank you. Okay, so now in the mind, there's a voucher of a freebie. It's coming
away. Yeah.
And then followed a sales pitch for the company's so-called upgraded Pine Gel, only coming into production in a few months' time, but being offered to those as a special, those who took part in the survey. Okay. We are going to introduce you to the upgraded Pine Gel, I heard. The words 25 litres are mentioned, but there's something about dilution, and you add water and then you get 25 litres or something to that effect. And then something about a 25% discount, and followed by, we will send you a complimentary voucher. Now, referring back to the voucher, you can see
why there was confusion.
And you can see why they wouldn't want this exact script
shared.
Yes. So it's all in quick succession. So, and I listening to it, I could understand, and looking at my notes that I was quickly typing as it was being played to me, I could understand where the confusion came in. The caller did describe the order as 25 litres at 100 Rand a litre, which is and read quickly, and it's an extremely misleading way to state a price. There was also some mention of repeat orders, because apparently this, if you do take this, you do pay, then
you're actually signing up for a 10-month sort of delivery. Yeah.
And they did say the invoicing was due after 30 days. So yes, there could be an argument to be made that there was disclosure, but the price declaration is definitely not transparent. They should have said it's 2,500 Rand plus VAT, or more specifically, they should have said it's 2,800, whatever. Okay. So what possible reason could there be for not putting it that way? One has to ask. Yeah. Because, I mean, think about being cold called out of the blue and offered, we're going to send you 25 litres of Pine Gel. I mean, she says we wouldn't use 25 litres
in a year.
Probably more than a year. For 2,800 Rand, I mean, goodness me, who's going to knowingly say yes to that? And of course, all that talk about the complimentary voucher creates confusion. Amanda said she tried to use the voucher. There was zero balance. When I listened to the call, I heard them say you must phone into activated. So there's maybe that. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm painting a picture based on the exact experience.
So, I mean, in short, all very unclear.
Yes.
Not completely undisclosed, to be fair.
Yes, but we are selling you. Would you like to buy 25 litres of Pine Gel for 2,800 Rand?
Yes, I would, or no, I would not.
That's what we really want in these sales calls, and that's why I discourage people from agreeing to anything, product or a cell phone contract or anything over the phone, because you are on the back foot.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You've just got no proof of what you've agreed to.
Yeah.
Okay. So where does this leave Amanda and the 25 litres of unwanted
Well,
Pine
they
Gel,
still
Wendy?
have it.
No.
So this woman from Unlimited Essentials said that Natasha had agreed to pay a cancellation handling fee for return of the stock. This was before we took up the case, and that the company had accepted that offer in order to resolve the case. Well, they still
sitting
no
on it.
further. So I will follow that up. They need to be rid of it. They haven't opened it.
Okay, so that's the individual question. The bigger question, obviously, Wendy, is this kind of very unclear marketing actually legal in terms of the CPA?
Well, okay. So first of all, I can't see anything specific in the CPA section about price disclosure, which stipulates that a price must be stated in full and not just per kilogram or per litre. Sometimes the legislators don't think of every possible loophole that they possibly can. I have asked, admittedly with not too much notice, the Ombudsman for Consumer Goods and Services, Mekhat Mpahlele, to clarify, but I haven't had it yet. But I've reread that section. I can't see it. But what I do know, and this was the other thing that I raised with the company and haven't had a a response to is that South Africa's regulatory standards regarding labelling and marketing requirements are set and maintained by the SABS, which is part of the DTI, and products must also adhere to the South African labelling requirements set out in the Foodstuffs, Cosmetics and Disinfectants Acts. And there needs to be things like manufacturer date, product size and weight, but also a list of ingredients, and
batch
numbers, and also manufacturer's name and street address. They only have a box number. There isn't a clear manufacture date. I put that to the company and I haven't had a response. All it is, it's pretty much says 25 litres of pine gel. It's black. So it's not. There's not
anonymous.
Yeah, you don't know what's in it even. There's not a list of ingredients.
Okay, so they might be on the right side of the law, albeit on thin ice in terms of what's ethical, in terms of the way they're marketing it. But certainly it sounds like they're not compliant with what is on the labelling, or rather what is not on the labelling that is meant to be there in law. So I'll be interested to hear if they do indeed follow up and respond to your challenge to them on that, Wendy. In the meantime, though, subsequent to our raising this 2 weeks ago, I believe you've had another complaint of a very similar kind from another business.
Yes, so this is the director of a Cape Town company. As you said, an agent from Unlimited Essentials phoned one of our younger employees. He said that and the employee said he was not allowed to authorize orders. They asked if they could then send him a free complimentary sample and a voucher. He said, okay. A 25-litre plastic container of liquid arrived. Yes. They sent us an invoice for 2,846 Rand, which included VAT. So that would be the 100 Rand per litre plus VAT.
Yeah.
Okay. Our accounts lady tried to return the liquid twice at our expense. Unlimited Essentials refused to accept the return. They called and demanded payment. They said they had a recording of my employee ordering the goods. Our accounts lady asked for the recording. They said their system could not do that. I asked another Unlimited Essentials person a number of times to play the recording. He said he would, but then we would have to pay. I said we would not pay. He said he would play the recording, but then the call went dead. We have not heard from them since, and that was late October.
Okay, I mean, so the fact that he recognised it and came to you and named the business, Wendy, without their name having been even said on air, tells you a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the companies obviously sort of skirted around this, and I must just say one other thing, and that is you do have the benefit if you order something as a result of a direct marketing call such as this. They phoned you didn't phone and
ask for it
of your own accord and place an order, that you have a 5-day cooling off period in which to cancel the deal for a full refund. Or not to be liable to pay for it in this case, within 5 business days, so call it a week, of either agreeing to it or the product arriving. So it's it'll be a week from the arrival of the product, which would explain, I would strongly suggest, that would be the reason why there is no invoice with the product. Why wouldn't you, if someone is openly and with full understanding, place an order for a 2,800 Rand order for 25 litres of a cleaning product, why wouldn't there be an invoice? And so the invoice comes after the cooling off period has expired.
So it's too late for you
to rely on that consumer protection. Or that protection. So, well, the other thing the CPA does state is that a producer, importer, distributor, or retailer or service provider must not market any goods or services in a manner that is reasonably likely to imply a false or misleading representation concerning those goods, in a manner that's misleading, fraudulent, or deceptive in any way, including the nature, properties, advantages, or uses of the goods, the manner in which they may be supplied, and the price at which the goods may be supplied. So while they might argue that there is disclosure in that sales pitch, the fact that so many people are complaining about being duped in the same, almost exactly the same way, I think would be something that the Consumer Goods and Services Ombudsman would be very interested in.
Okay, so let your businesses and your business friends know, firstly, and advise your junior staff to be aware of potential incoming calls of this nature. Wendy, what else can be done to protect a business against this?
I think just those two things. Knowledge is power, to spread the word, in the same way that they mustn't sign any forms that are emailed to them about updating their business directory listing. It's very much the same thing. They sign this form without reading the small print, and they're committing themselves to 15,000 Rand paid upfront for some obscure online directory listing, and then come the demands. It's so, I think And there's the word free is used. Anytime there's the word free, complimentary, voucher, reward, prize, that comes from those words used in an unsolicited phone call, I would just very politely end the call.
Okay. Thank you very much, Wendy.
Put the phone down.
Lunch with Pippa Hudson
on CapeTalk.